Hey, what's going on YouTube? Welcome to Post Cologne. Today I'm going to give you 7 Compliment Beast cologne fragrances that you should know about. So let's jump into it. All right, so today we're talking Compliment Beast fragrances. Fragrances that in my own personal experience have garnered me a few head turns and plenty of compliments when I do wear them. Now, results may vary. This is not a guarantee that if you wear these fragrances that people are gonna beat down your door, giving you all sorts of nice comments, but they could. So let's quit screwing around and let's get into it. All right, so kicking things off, going to the house of Lattafa with Lattafa's Liam Gray. Now you can pick this up for $26, $32 at various discounters. I'm gonna have links down in the description to all these fragrances if you decide you wanna check any of them out. Also some coupon codes, save yourself a few bucks at various discounters. This is a clone of BDK's Gris Charnel. Did I say that right? Gris Charnel. Fantastic fragrance. I've worn this to the office more than a half dozen times, and each and every time I do, I get someone making a comment just how amazing this actually smells. Soft, creamy, has a nice sweet spice to it, has this black tea, cardamom, fig, along with this nice powdery iris to it. Very soft, gentle fragrance, has a nice sexy, flirty appeal to it, but also kind of a classy, professional vibe going on to it at the same point. So it's a great office fragrance, but also a great casual fragrance and a date night fragrance. Just works across everything. Beautiful scent profile in this. As you get towards the dry down, it turns into a little bit more vanilla, a little bit more sandalwood coming through, but you get that nice sweet black tea that's there, that pop of that cardamom, kind of sweet spiciness that works its way in there, and that fig that's in the opening works with that iris. Just absolutely beautiful. Awesome fragrance. Performance on this pretty good. I get about 7-8 hours worth of longevity, and it does project off for about the first 2 hours before it does settle back in. Bang for your buck. This is a fantastic fragrance, sexy, alluring, and definitely something you want to check out. That's Lattafa's Liam Gray. All right, next up, going to the House of Fragrance World with Fragrance World's Hardwood. Now you can scoop this up for in and around $30 at various discounters, and this is a clone of the now discontinued Bath & Body Works Mahogany Wood. Fantastic fragrance. This has been around for a little while, and this is actually one of my first pickups from the Fragrance World house, and probably one of my favorites, to be quite honest. Mahogany, blood orange, has some really nice vanilla, some bourbon vanilla, some cognac. Little hints of some red pepper and clary sage that are mixed in there, as well as some sandalwood. Just a nice, rich, woody fragrance with nice sweet accords coming through. Just a nice, thick, creamy, smooth style of vanilla just drizzled over top of those woods. Little hints of some sweet spice, a little bit of aromatics that are mixed in there as well. But through and through, this is just kind of a deep, woody, vanilla, sweet, gourmandy style of fragrance that's absolutely delicious. Very sexy, very mysterious, very alluring. Perfect for date nights, evenings out, more kind of close encounter style of events. Performance on this is okay. It's moderate, about 5-6 hours worth of longevity. It does project out okay for the first hour, hour and a half. So the performance on this isn't fantastic, but the scent profile definitely is. And for $30, this is definitely worth it. That's Fragrance World's Hardwood. All right, next up, going to the House of Armaf with Armaf's Club de Nuit Iconic. Now you can scoop this up for $50 at various discounters, and I've talked about this fragrance a few times. This is hands down my absolute #1 most complimented fragrance that I've worn. My girlfriend loves this fragrance. This is her favorite fragrance. I've had to buy a backup bottle because like I'm down to here on this, and for someone who has a collection as large as mine to get down this far on one single bottle, that should tell you a story. She absolutely loves this one, and I tend to agree. This is a great twist on that Bleu de Chanel style of Sentine, just a bit kind of brighter and fresher style of approach to this. Nice minty profile, has some grapefruit, some lemon, this nice ginger that's in there. Little hints of some spice, a little kiss of some incense, and a nice woody base to this. Has that shower jelly blue sort of vibe going on to it, but it just got this nice sparkling citrusy style of opening with that minty profile that works in there. So it's a very bright, sharp style of fragrance mixing in with that clean shower jelly blue. And in the dry down, you get this nice woody base with it, adding a little bit more of that kind of incense, giving it a little bit more of a darkness and a depth, but it still maintains that ginger throughout and that minty profile. Absolutely gorgeous blue style of fragrance, mass appealing, compliment magnet, just absolutely fantastic fragrance. And performance on this is great. I get about 8-10 hours worth of longevity, and it does project off pretty hard for the first hour and a half, 2 hours before it does settle back in. Bang for your buck, in my opinion. This is a great fragrance and definitely worth checking out. That's Armaf's Club de Nuit Iconic. All right, next up, going to the house of Maison Alhambra with Maison Alhambra's Jean Lo Immortal. Now, when you can find this, it's between $30 and $40 at various discounters, and this is a clone of Louis Vuitton's Lemon Scent. Did I pronounce that right? I'm not French. Very nice fragrance. This is a great summer style of fragrance. Has some nice citruses in there, some grapefruit, bergamot, along with this ginger that pretty much takes you on the ride the entire time. Very ginger forward, has some watery notes, this nice rosemary, sage, geranium mid that's there. So it adds this nice aromatic touch, but it has this like kind of camphorous green touch to it, a little bit of a fresh spice as well. Plays very nice with those citrus accords and with that ginger pop that comes through. A little bit of ambroxan amber that's in the base, adding a hint of sweetness. So it's not an overly sharp citrusy fragrance that's like leaning too green. Balances off really nice with just that little touch of sweetness. Beautiful summery style of fragrance, very fresh, very clean, but also has this kind of added depth to it with that green touch that's in there. Beautiful scent accord on this. And for a summery scent, this performance on this is great. I get about 7-8 hours worth of longevity, and it does push off fairly well for the first hour and a half before it does settle back in. Anytime I wear this in the summer in the high heat when it really kind of pushes off and you get that ambroxan push so people can definitely smell you, I'm always getting people telling me, smell fantastic, smell fresh, nice citrusy sort of accords, very summery style of fragrance. It just works every time, and for the price, definitely worth checking out. That's Maison Alhambra's Jean Lo Immortal. All right, next up, going to the house of Afnan from their Zamea collection, and it's Afnan's Zamea Sharaf the Club. Now you can pick this up for $32 at various discounters, and this is a beautiful twist on the Creed Aventus DNA. And I know what you're already thinking, oh God, another Creed Aventus clone. This one is different, and I really like this. Personally, this is one of my favorite pickups I've grabbed in the last 6 months or so. Just a beautiful twist on that Creed Aventus DNA. Has that pineapple, has that citrus, but it has this additional apple sweetness that works its way through. And the star of the show are these white florals and this orange blossom as well. Nice sweet opening with those citruses. Just gorgeous. It's just a different kind of sweet profile. But as this opens up, you start getting more of that Creed Aventus vibe coming from this birch that comes through, this oak moss, a little bit of ambergris as well. But playing against that white floral, that orange blossom, and that additional apple sweetness just makes this different enough that you can tell it's kind of a Creed Aventus twist, but it just has its own character to it, and it's absolutely gorgeous. Just really addictive, fun, flirty, playful style of scent DNA to this that's just absolutely gorgeous. I've worn this to the office more than a handful of times, and I've had people confirm my own thoughts that this smells absolutely fantastic. And this is my girlfriend's second favorite fragrance behind the Armaf Club de Nuit Iconic. She loves this fragrance. I love this fragrance. It just works through and through. And the performance on this is pretty good. I get about 7 hours worth of longevity. Get some on my clothing, and it does push out a lot longer. I find this does stick to clothing fairly well, and it does project off really good for the first hour and a half, 2 hours before it does settle back in. Great fragrance, like I said, one of my favorite pickups, and for $32, bang for your buck, this is absolutely worth it. That's Afnan's Zamea Sharaf the Club. All right, next up, going to the house of Paris Corner with Paris Corner's North Stag Wheat. Now you can scoop this up for in and around $38, and this is a clone of Viktor & Rolf's Spice Bomb, but with a little bit of a twist to it. Has that signature pink pepper and that tobacco that you would find in this Spice Bomb original, and they pretty much nail it in this fragrance. Oh, they do have some grapefruit citrus in that opening, but it dies off fairly quick. But they got this nice lavender that's in there, giving it an aromatic touch, lifting those spices. This black pepper that's in there, a little hint of some cinnamon, some bittersweet saffron. And in the base, you get this nice creamy style of vanilla, which sets it apart from the original Spice Bomb original. This has that added sweetness to it that you don't find in the Viktor & Rolf, and I really enjoy it. It's a nice touch to this. The spices in here are a little bit cooler, doesn't have that kind of that pimento note that's in the original, and kind of trades it off with that black pepper, giving it a cooler profile that works really well with that nice creamy sweet style of vanilla. Excellent fragrance, great for date nights, great for evenings out, but you can also wear this one casually. Just an absolutely delicious, if you like the original Viktor & Rolf Spice Bomb and you want something just a little bit sweeter with that added vanilla, you definitely want to check this one out. Performance on this is moderate, about 6-7 hours worth of longevity, and it does project off fairly well for the first hour, hour and a half before it does settle back in. One of my favorite pickups from Paris Corner, just because I'm such a fan of the Viktor & Rolf Spice Bomb DNA, and I think they did a fantastic job on this one. Definitely worth checking out. That's Paris Corner's North Stag Wheat. All right, last, but definitely not least, going to the house of Rasasi with Rasasi's It's Essential. Now you can scoop this up for about $22 at various discounters. So this is a certified cheapie, and this is also a clone of YSL L'Homme Ultime. Great spring summer style of fragrance. Nice citrus opening, this sweet orange, tart bergamot with a little touch of this fruity pear. It's a really nice aromatics in the mid. You get this nice earthy touch, this fresh spiciness, this geranium, lavender, magnolia, this jasmine, adding a bit of a white floral touch to this as well. Keeps it kind of nice and light, watery, almost like a rosy nuance to this, mixing in with those citruses, that pop of that fruity sweetness as well. Gorgeous, elegant, gentlemanly, sophisticated style of opening to this. As you get towards the dry down, some of the more earthy accords come through and you get some additional spice. You get this nice, fresh, spicy cardamom that comes through, mixing with some guaiac wood along with some cedar. Some additional sweetness, some vanilla and amber mixes its way in there, but it's mostly just kind of forming that foundation for those nice, fresh, spicy aromatics and a little bit of that citrus to kind of sit on. Gorgeous, fresh, clean, sophisticated, gentlemanly style of fragrance that has that kind of, that soft edge to it with those watery, rosy nuances with that jasmine, magnolia. Gorgeous, gorgeous fragrance, banger for the spring and summer. And every time I've worn this, I've had someone make a comment, just how clean, fresh I smell, and just absolutely bang for your buck, beautiful fragrance. Performance on this is average. I get about 6 hours worth of longevity, and it does push off fairly good for the first hour and a half before it does settle back in. So not a beast mode fragrance, but it is a compliment beast for sure. And for $22, you just can't go wrong. That's Rasasi's. It's essential. All right, so there you have it. That's 7 Compliment Beast clone fragrances that I think you should know about. But I want to hear from you guys. What are some of your most complimented clone fragrances? Comment down below. I love hearing from you guys. I love getting your different recommendations, your hidden gems, different taste and scent profiles. Appreciate you. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you all next time.